What's good, y'all? My name is Rorvis Paradox, aka Docs Brando, and I'd like to welcome you all to another installment of Rorvis Reviews. Got a great episode for y'all. About to be covering two great movies. One of them is one of my favorite all time. I watch it constantly, and I just rewatched it and just made me love the movie all over again. And another one is another great classic film. Reminder, 500 subscribers is the goal for the end of the year. So share this video, share all my videos with everybody you know that's interested in this type of content. Follow me at IG at DuxBrando25 for all updates, as well as hit that notification bell so you don't miss when videos drop. With all that being said, let's get into it. Now, the first one we're going to be talking about is 1999's The Green Mile, directed by Frank Darabont. This film, it was something I was not expecting to love as much as I did. Um, this film was recommended by my dad. He said, check this out. This might be something that you're into. And basically, as soon as I watched it, I was amazed by it. The film stars Tom Hanks as Paul Edgecombe, and as well as Michael Clark Duncan as John Coffey. And the film was about uh, Tom Hanks' character Paul, who is a prison guard on death row inmates, and the Green Mile refers to the color of the floor of the hallway of death row. And from there, he likes to keep a very close, tight-knit ship when it comes to working with the inmates and with his fellow officers. And it's very simple. He wants them to stay calm and, understand that, the day will come, and, he wants to make their death very, easy as possible, regardless of the fact that they are about to get electrocuted. But he makes it very simple. He keeps the routine for nothing bad happens. But there's just one little weasel character that we just hate from the very beginning, and that is Doug Hetcherson as Percy Wetmore. Uh, it makes sense that his last name is Wetmore because he's literally a pussy. Like, it's horrible. Like this little snovel. His character's premise is that he's a dickhead, and the only reason he's here is because the governor. He's the cousin of the governor's wife. So like he's over here feeling like he's top shit, talking crazy and trying to do whatever he wants. And if anybody says anything, he goes crying to his cousin. So the people who are already there don't even like this dude. But anyway, on death row, there comes in an inmate, and it's a big motherfucker. And it's Michael Clark as John Coffey. As he likes to say, coffee, but like the drink, but not spelled the same. That's what he tells everybody when he introduces himself. So Michael Clark Duncan's character as John comes through, and he's a behemoth of a man, but he's very, mild mannered, very calm, very docile. He doesn't really want to hurt anyone, and it's like how his character is such different from his stature, and that's one of the reasons I love this role for Michael Clark Duncan. It's such a different performance for someone of his stature. Um, Now, John Coffey is on death row because he's been convicted of raping and murdering two small white children, and that's horrific. And so everyone's Paul in particular is wondering, he it's pretty easy working with John, so he's like, there's no way he could have done this, especially after we start to find out that John has supernatural / magical abilities, and what he's capable of doing is healing people. That's something we learned very early. So Paul has been dealing with like some urinary tract infection, something like that, where he cannot pee without trying to like fall over and just cry. Like he's in immense pain, and John just like grabs hold of him and absorbs his ailment, and then like coughs it up as flies, and then they just disappear. So he was able just to absorb it and like deal with the pain a little bit, then take away from Paul. And Paul's like, bro, what the fuck just happened? Like, I'm so much better now. Paul goes home and does his thug dizzle with his wife. He's like, yeah, I'm a new man. I'm back. And he tells her, like, what happened. And it's like, bro, this is crazy. Like, even his wife is like, yo, give this batch of cornbread to John Coffey. He done saved our marriage for real. But anyway, so all this is going on. Then there's just one mouse that's just lingering around the death row. And this another inmate ends up naming him Mr. Jingles, and he's very smart. And the mouse, does little tricks. It fetches the little stool, all that. It's a really cute thing to watch. And while this is going on, Percy's a dighead, and he stomps out the mouse just cause the inmate laughed at him after he pissed himself out of fear with dealing with one of the other inmates. And it's all fair for that inmate to laugh at him because he's a total dickhead and he broke his fingers. So anyway, after Percy stomps out the mouse, John's all like, bring Mr. Jingles to me. And he's able to like breathe life back into the mouse and heals him of his pain. And he goes back to his owner. It's just like, this really sets up like he's really different. And whenever he's using his abilities, like the lights flicker and everything around him changes. And I know when we talking about him having magical abilities, and some folks are already rolling their eyes because this is a very typical route for the magical Negro. If you're not familiar with the magical Negro stereotype, I will enlighten you. So the magical Negro stereotype is a stereotype for Black characters in film to have these supernatural abilities of some kind, and instead of using them for themselves to benefit their people, all this and that, they're using their abilities to the benefit of white people. And does that happen in this film? Yes, absolutely. It is what it is. But I think that doesn't take away from the greatness of this film and doesn't take away from the performance that Michael Clark Duncan does as John Coffey. But that's near here, no there. Um, Honestly, I don't want to talk too much more about the film. I think this is definitely a film that everyone should check out. I would much rather now start going into what I loved about the film, the highlights. And number one is definitely a great performance from Tom Hanks as Paul Edgecombe. You could tell he's a very calm man. He likes to keep things in order. This performance gave a lot of different character work from Tom Hanks because you know he was really able to encapsulate the awe of what he was experiencing. And how do you tell someone that this person has such great gifts and then this person is also convicted of something so horrendous, and you know how it ends for him, especially as a black man during the Great Depression era. I don't know if all y'all know this, but there's plenty of cases where black men were framed or accused of horrific crimes just to, get lynched at the end, regardless if they did it or not. And more than likely, they didn't, or things were twisted, things of that nature. So this is, true to historical fashion, and it's kind of sad to see that happen, but it is what it is. Back to talking about more highlights. Um, David Morse as Brutus Brutal Howell. He's one of the plays one of the he's like the right hand man to Paul. Great performance. He's the one that Paul has to keep calm from snapping on Percy too much, because Percy deserves any and everything that comes his way because he's a total asshole. Um, Michael Jeter as Edouard Del Delacroix. He's an inmate that takes Mr. Jingles and keeps him as a pet. It was a very nice performance from him. Very, there was a lot of emotion in it, and you kind of feel bad because you know how his character is going to end, and his death in the film was brutal to say the least. And I don't want to get any further than that, but you're gonna find out why I truly hate Percy even more. Speaking of Percy Wetmore, Doug Hutchinson as Percy, this may have been the greatest performance for someone to be so hated. And it's like he's such a weasel, like he's just snoveling, and it's just I hate him. I hate him from everything in my body. I just hate him. And he deserves everything. He's a fucking cunt. Oh my god. Um Sam Rockwell as William Wild Bill Wharton, horrible fucking person in this film. He's just terrible. He's a dickhead. But it's not the same. Like he's really trying to be evil compared to Percy just being a cunt. It's just totally different. But well, I think the cinematography of the film was great. Everything was shot well. I think the character work and how everyone playing off each other is great. Now, a lot of people's complaints that this movie kind of feels a little long on runtime, and I can understand why you would feel that way. I definitely kind of felt that way as well. But once you know you're in the film and you just like go along with the story, that doesn't really matter anymore. You're just kind of locked in, and it's definitely felt when watching the film. I think this is one of the ones I can tell why a lot of people have this film in high regards. Uh, in my opinion, I'm rating this 5 stars. This was pretty much a flawless movie, in my opinion, regardless of, typical stereotypes and things of that nature. Um, I think the ending was phenomenal as well. And this is something that was created, a novel or a story from Stephen King, and you know how much of a weirdo he can be, and sometimes his creations can be hit or miss, and this is definitely more on the hit side. So definitely check this film out. It was great in my opinion. I enjoyed my time, and I think y'all enjoy this film as well. Now, the last film I'm going to be talking about is 2013's Now You See Me, directed by Louis Leterrier. I remember the first time I watched this film, as as a teenager, I believe. Yeah, as a teenager at the time, and I was truly amazed by what I was looking at. And after coming back to it as an adult, I've watched it a few more times since the first time I watched it. I can still say that this is a phenomenal film. The film is about 4 different types of magicians. We have some street magicians. For example, Jesse Eisenberg's character Daniel Atlas. We have a mentalist, uh, played Mary McKinney, played by Woody Harrelson. We have an escape artist who's also does street tricks, uh, Henley Reeves, played portrayed by Isley Fisher, as well as a pick art trick street magician, con artist, all that type of stuff, and Jack Wilder, played by Dave Franco. Now, they are coming together to do this grand show on multiple stages. And what's crazy about it is, at first you think it's just a movie about these magicians, but it turns out this is a heist movie. Like, they're pulling off stunts that end up robbing people, but like, they're robbing horrible people that deserve to get robbed. And they're trying to just bless other people as well as follow the mission along for this mythical group known as the Eye. And the Eye has been since ancient times, since Egypt, and they were, magicians who came together that truly believed in magic and wanted to do things for the greater good. And these 4 magicians are trying everything they can to join the Eye. And they're just doing this mission. They don't know who set it up, but it's grand and everything looks phenomenal. As this is going on, they're getting tailed by the FBI and agents from Interpol from France, because their first heist involves them somehow robbing a French bank, and that whole setup is brilliant and definitely something y'all have to see for yourselves how it plays out. But as this is going on, they're outsmarting the government, and they're smarting the people that think they should be trusted by them as well. So it's just like everything is just going on that's hectic, but it's a wonderful chaotic mess that's going on, and the visuals and how they're pulling off these tricks is something that's should be greatly admired. um I think that's all I want to really say about the film. I truly love this film, so I don't want to say any more. I know it's not that old film, but I definitely think y'all should check this out if y'all haven't already. I want to start talking about things that I truly love about the film, and number one is the Four Horsemen themselves, each played by Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Isla Fisher, and Dave Franco. All of them have their particular role in the group, and all of them play off each other very well. Um, the points of comedy in this film, most of the funniest things come into play when they are all interacting with one another or interacting with different characters. And Woody Harrelson, star Jesse Eisenberg, he's a dick. He's like one of those cocky dickheads, but like he's definitely somebody that you can enjoy. Um, and like the witty banter amongst Dave Franco has his moments of witty banter, but he's kind of like the butt of the joke because he's the youngest, so they kind of just like you know how they treat the younger the younger members of teams. Um, another person to highlight is Morgan Freeman as Thaddeus Bradley. Now his character in the film is he's a retired magician who's made a fortune off of just spoiling and exposing how magicians are doing their tricks on DVD. And you can see why that would anger other magicians because you came from that lifestyle, you came from that culture, and now you're going against it. So seeing that type of battle going on within the film was very interesting because it could be interpreted and like highlighted in the different like types of films and different cultures as well, of people leaving the culture that made them to and then exploiting them. uh I want to highlight what's that boy, Marco Rufio, the dude that played the Hulk, dude. Like, hate to say that I don't really like him as a Hulk, but his role here in this film was brilliant. And he's plays an FBI agent, and he's trying to hunt them down. And you can tell he's angry at the world, and he's angry that he has to do this. But the way that he interacts with the Four Horsemen when they first catch him, he's just like, yeah, no, I have to nail them. I have to get these people locked up because it's just an itch for him. And he did a great job in this role. The next thing I want to talk about is the score, mainly composed by Brian Tyler, especially the title track, the Four Horsemen track, the Welcome to the Eye track, and Now You Don't track. All of these, have like their own like little signature. Like I know when they pop up within the film, and I'm very familiar with how they sound, and it just feels so grand and whimsical. And there's just something special about these particular tracks on the soundtrack. So Brian Tyler, I have to give him a nod. Um, Cinematography was phenomenal. The editing as well. Everything about this film just feels so right to me. There's no other way to put it. Uh, I'm gonna give this film 5 stars. Some people might disagree about that rating, but to me, this is just a perfect film. Some people might have a problem with the ending. Me, I like the ending. I enjoyed it because it was, there's nothing wrong with a good twist, and I think twist is great, and it adds on to. I don't know. It's just something about it. It just works for me. So regardless of what other people think, I'm giving this film 5 stars. That might seem crazy, but this is my show, and I'm going to give the rating I want to give. Now, I wanted to talk about these two films. Number one, because one of them I just watched recently again. Number two, I thought, it was a good balance because in one film, there is a love and passion for magic, and a lot of the things they're doing can be explained, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I wanted to pair that with a film that can't be explained. It's not explained at all why John Coffey is gifted with that healing ability. But they both were phenomenal in my opinion. I think this is the first time I'm doing two films that I think are both 5 stars. Uh, and I enjoy talking about these films. I think these are very whimsical movies in a sense that, there's something that just draws you in and you're in awe. And, you know, with The Green Mile being more of a sadder film because of the topic or like why John Coffey is there. And that's, is more on a somber note with that film. They're both very much enjoyable. And I can't wait to, I definitely want to rewatch The Green Mile because there's probably some things that I miss or, some shots that I can want to enjoy more. And with Now You See Me, this is definitely, I'm gonna have to add it to the list because I enjoyed every second watching that film again. It just told me that it like is a nostalgia with that film, possibly, but that doesn't change the fact that it's still a great film in my opinion. Um, that being said, I have to ask, do y'all agree what I said about these films? What are your thoughts on these films? Have you seen these films? Is The Green Mile too long? Is Now You See Me as great as I say? If you disagree or you agree, please let me know. I would love to have more conversations about these films. Um, and if there's films that you want me to check out, this would be the time to, give me some recommendations before, I'm gonna have to start charging y'all. But that's neither here nor there. Your goal is still 500 subscribers before the end of the year. So please share this with everyone. Let's get a lot more people rocking with your boy. This has been Rorvis Paradox, aka Dogs Brando, with another Rorvis Reviews. And I'll see you again next time. Peace.